Okay, so now what we're going to do is third page, given the sequence, write the equation for the nth term. Then find the 20th term of each sequence. Last, find which term has the indicated value. So what we're going to do is it's a sub n equals, and then every time this is increasing by 2. So that's 2n. If I backed it up one number, 50 would come here. So 2n plus 50. That's kind of like the condensed way of doing that big formula that we learned. So if I'm finding the 20th term, I'm going to work it out up here. So a sub 20 equals 2 times 20 plus 50. 2 times 20 is 40. 40 plus 50 is 90. So the 20th term would be 90. And if I'm trying to figure out, well, what term would make it 146? 146 equals 2n plus 50. So I'm going to subtract 50 to get 96 equals 2n, and then divide by 2 to get 48. And then on this last one, it's going down 10. So that's negative 10n, and if I backed it up one number, that would be minus 8. Okay, again, don't forget that if we were to set this up in like a table, like this is x, this is y, right? This would be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like our slope. So it's going down 10 and over 1. Change in y is negative 10, change in x is 1. And then our y-intercept, just like back on page 1, when we had to identify right here, and I was like, hey, the y-intercept is always the one that has an x value of 0. Because if the x is 0, whatever y is going to sit on the y-axis. It's the same thing here, right? All we're saying is, what if x was 0? One term in front of term 1 would be negative 8. So that's where I'm getting that. Okay, it's all related. So if I'm looking for the 20th term, a sub 20 is negative 10 times 20 minus 8. Negative 200 minus 8 is negative 208. And then if I'm looking to figure out, well, what do I have to put in for n to make the whole thing equal negative 128? Negative 128 equals negative 10n minus 8. So we're going to add 8 to both sides to get negative 120 equals negative 10n. Divide both sides by negative 10 to get n equals 12. Okay, on to scatter plots. Okay, again, I know that your homework on scatter plots was, and the examples we did in class were kind of the hardest that you would be expected to do. They will not be that hard on your test, okay? On your test, it's gonna look more like this. So runs are on the bottom, hits are on the side. So we're gonna graph our points. Then we're gonna write the equation of the line of best fit in slope-intercept form. So the first person has 3 runs, 4 hits. So they bat 4 times, they get 3 runs. The second person is 5 and 2, and then 4 runs. Oh wait, am I mixing this up? I think I just did this backwards. 3 runs, 4 hits. Yes, I did. Sorry. And then 2 runs, 5 hits, and then 1 run, 4 hits, and then 6 runs, 8 hits. Don't be like me, don't make that mistake. And then we have 5 runs and then 9 hits. Okay, so this person had 5 runs, 9 hits. The next person had 2 runs and 4 hits. The next person had 1 run with 5 hits. The next person had 3 runs with 5 hits. And then the next person had 0 runs with 2 hits, and then 7 runs with 10 hits. Okay, so it should look like that. I think I did an extra point in there somewhere. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so again, we're gonna work smarter, not harder here, okay? So we're trying to write it in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, right? So let's think for a second about what we are trying to find. We are trying to find the slope and the y-intercept. So if this was our line has already crossed the y-axis, right? It crosses right here at 2. So that's where I'm gonna put 2. is that showing up here? Yes, it is. Okay. And then for the slope, if I'm going to connect my line, get my ruler, I'm going to draw my line through these points. Okay, I'm going to connect this guy to this guy up here. Like that. Okay, so I have some points on top, some points underneath. Looks like a pretty good line of fit. So let's look at the slope. Rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, rise 1, run 1, right? I'm going from 2 to 10, that's up 8. Oh, just kidding, no it's not. It's going up 8 and over 7. So up 8 over 7, that is my slope. So my equation would be y equals 8 over 7x plus 2. So on your test, let's say you had picked a different line, okay? Like let's say, or a different point. You had picked this point right here. You were like, you think this line is a better line of fit. Okay, that would be totally okay. You would write y equals blank x plus 2, because your line is still crossing at 2, right? We're working smarter, not harder. We're going to use this point. Okay, so this point to this point, we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would write y equals 7 over 5x plus 2. Okay, so both are totally okay, and both work.